hoops.
Pass me the tissues, I've got issues. But luckily, this video is not about me. This is about every NBA team in the Western Conference and what their biggest flaw is. If you want to see the biggest flaw in each Eastern Conference team, the link down there in the description or at the end of the video. Every single team's got a flaw, but every championship team has had a flaw. The 1998 Bulls had basically no bench. The 2002 Lakers were basically nothing beyond Kobe and Shaq. Hey guys, it's Casey Cannon from the AM Hoops YouTube channel. We are growing this channel. Please hit us with a subscribe, coming out with 3 quality NBA videos every week. And if you love the league, check out the AM Hoops podcast. It's for people who want to watch every game every night, but they have, a life. So Monday through Friday, whenever you wake up, guaranteed, we go over every single NBA game. So the biggest issue in every Western Conference team, beginning with the Dallas Mavericks. This KRISTAPS, PORZINGIS, and LUKA DONCIC fit. Now, of course, this one comes with the caveat that KP is playing for the first time in 20 months after tearing that ligament in his knee when he was with the Knicks. But when he was with the Knicks, the offense ran through him. That is not happening here on a team with LUKA DONCIC. In a lot of spots, PORZINGIS is being reduced to like a 7'3" spot-up shooter. I mean, don't get me wrong, he is great at shooting over guys, any 7'3" guy would be, but that's not really getting out everything he brings to the table. And he's having issues with that role. The numbers say that KRISTAPS Porzingis is the only qualified player who's attempting at least 15 field goals per game and shooting under 40%. I'd say that's an issue. The Denver Nuggets, not enough star power to accomplish their ultimate goal, which is winning an NBA championship. With 40% of the league being a free agent last year, we've seen stars spread out, making multiple contenders, and at this point, judging by their talent at the top of the roster, Denver doesn't look to be one of them. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're a very deep team, but I feel like last year was Denver's year. They took Portland all the way to 7 games in the Western Conference semifinals, but what if Denver had won that 7th game against Portland? They would have matched up against an injured Golden State Warriors team, and then Toronto, and who knows what would have happened. I feel like last year was their year, and now it's passed them by. The Golden State Warriors. This is almost a joke because how many issues can one team have? And I've decided not to say injuries are an issue for any team because that could be an issue and the biggest issue for any team with injuries. And so I've decided that since their pick is 1 through 20 protected and they're gonna get it, their biggest issue is that the draft lottery has been reformed. Just 2 years ago, the team with the worst record in the league had the best chance at getting the #1 overall pick. And now the 3 worst records in the league have an equal share, 14% to get that #1 overall pick. Not a great time for the Warriors to maybe have the worst record in the league. Who knows where that pick's gonna land? The Houston Rockets rely way too much on 2 guys who are regular season only stars. Look, I hate to say it, but both James Harden and Russell Westbrook have made a habit of fading in the postseason. They are great in the regular season. I mean, we've seen that already. Russell Westbrook, even though he is sharing the court and the ball with James Harden, still somehow manages to pump out triple doubles all the time. James Harden has figured out how to continue on his epic scoring here in the regular season. But that was the case last year, and where did that get them? They could not get past the Golden State Warriors even though they were injured. The Los Angeles Clippers, being a little too lackadaisical about the regular season. Look, I understand being confident. To me, teams who really go for that 1 seed are young teams who haven't really proven themselves and are still taking steps. Teams like the Warriors or LeBron's teams or whoever go, you know what, you guys can have the 1 seed, you guys can have regular season wins, we are all about June. And the Clippers have that mindset clearly. I mean, it looks like they don't care if they get a 6 or a 7 seed, but is that gonna bite them during the postseason? I mean, at this point, I feel like we should get a Woj bomb when Kawhi decides to play a game. Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are just beginning to play together. They need time to build chemistry, and having home court advantage in the postseason could help. The Los Angeles Lakers, you may not know this, are still pretty dependent on LeBron James. Oh, we know LeBron is balling here in his 17th season, averaging about 25 points and 11 assists per game. But even with Anthony Davis now on the team, when LeBron sits, the team scores almost 16 fewer points per 100 possessions. Their effective field goal percentage drops by over 8 percentage points. But has this flaw been covered up by a soft schedule to start the year? We'll see soon. That schedule gets a little tougher coming up in December. 11 of their 14 December games are against teams in a playoff spot right now. And that includes at Denver, at Milwaukee, the Clippers, and Dallas twice. So is this start to the Lakers season a little bit of fool's gold? We'll know soon. The Memphis Grizzlies. Jaren Jackson Jr. continues to foul a ton. He is going to lead this team of young, impressive rookies. We know that. But how much can he actually do so if he's not on the court? Triple J has been better lately, but like Giannis Antetokounmpo, he is top 10 in personal fouls per game, and that prevents him and the team from getting going offensively on a night-to-night basis. The Minnesota Timberwolves. What if this Andrew Wiggins start isn't for real? There's no doubt that Wiggins has been impressive. He is averaging to start the year career highs in points, rebounds, and assists. His shot selection is better. He's taken more shots from three, more shots at the rim, a lot less shots in the mid-range, which he was prone to do before and frankly was awful at it. Kobe Bryant, he is not. But the fact is that he has started well before. Back in 2016-17, Wiggins had a hot start, but then fell off. They have depended on Wiggins to have a hot start to this year, but what if Wiggins isn't for real? The New Orleans Pelicans. Jrue Holiday's slow start. Now, Jrue has turned it around lately, but the fact is that the team started 2-8 in part because their MVP had the worst start to any season in his 11 years in the NBA. In that 10-game start, he failed to have a 20-point performance. He shot just 36% from the field and 23% from downtown. Literally the worst shooting percentages in his decade plus in the league. Is that slow start gonna doom their season when they were battling for the 8th seed already? The Oklahoma City Thunder, for some reason, just cannot win on the road. They were the last team in the Western Conference to win a road game, which is too bad because they were actually better than some had predicted. But their record has been hindered because their inability to win away from OKC, and we know in pro sports you do not want to be in the middle. You want to be really good or really bad for the championships or for the draft picks, and right now it looks like OKC has neither. The Phoenix Suns kind of have inflated shooting percentages. In fact, 5 players on their team are shooting 39% or better from downtown, and that includes Aaron Baines, plus Devin Booker, who's shooting 50%. That will surely regress to the mean, and we're already finding out a little bit about these Suns, their first back-to-back losses of the season after they wrapped up a nice, cushy 6-game homestand. The Portland Trailblazers front court depth. Again, this is another team whose season has cratered. You could easily pick a lot of flaws and issues here, but their front court depth is a real problem. So much so that they had to sign Carmelo Anthony. Sorry, not sorry, Melo fanboys. But after Zach Collins went down with that shoulder injury, they had to play a ton of Mario Hezonja, Anthony Tolliver, and Nasir Little. The Sacramento Kings have a problem adjusting to Luke Walton's new system. Look, we all know that Sacramento started slow, like 0-5, but eventually they turned it around. But if you look deeper into the numbers, you'll see something real interesting. They won 5 of their next 7 games, and in that time they were 4th in offensive rating, a respectable 14th in defensive rating, but 30th in pace. And if you don't know, there are 30 teams in the NBA, so they were the slowest while they were winning games. And that's an issue because this team last year was really impressive and broke through expectations because they were such a fast team, like the 3rd fastest team in the league. And while they're learning this system, one of their best weapons goes unused, and that's having one of the fastest rosters in the NBA. The San Antonio Spurs defense. And that is in general, and it would be easy to be general about this topic, defense, but let's go over some specifics. Specifically, defense in the first quarter. The Spurs get in early holes. They are 28th in points scored in the first quarter and 23rd worst in points allowed. Their defensive rating is 26th, and this is all added up to one of their longest losing streaks in 2+ decades. And for those of you out there who are saying, oh, just draft the next Tim Duncan, no, just draft. You don't really get how the whole draft thing works, because that's kind of dumb. The Utah Jazz have an issue with shot selection. It's clear that they haven't quite arrived at the 2019 NBA. Look no further than their 2 best guys on offense, Mike Conley and Donovan Mitchell. I mean, just look at these shot charts from a game early in the season. This kind of says it all. Mitchell started 29 of 78 in the paint outside of the restricted area, a mid-range shot. Now, that wouldn't be a big deal if he wasn't taking about a third of his shot attempts from that area. What are you doing? Mike Conley's not much better. He's taken about 30% of his shots from the painted non-restricted area. That's a mid-range shot. And on those shots, oh, he's shooting 33%. So that is the West. Check out the East. Link is in the description. Every team's got a flaw, but again, every championship team has had a flaw but overcome it to win a title.
Support AM Hoops and click subscribe. Don't miss a weekly NBA video.